I was really late in seeing Pulp Fiction in my life. I knew it was a big, important movie that released back in the day and put Quentin Tarantino on the map. Truth be told, I never thought I would enjoy it, and even convinced myself it might feel outdated. But once getting the opportunity to see it in the 2010s, I was pleasantly surprised. Sure, it may not have had the greatest special effects or the sophisticated cinematic look of modern movies, but what it did have was a unique story that I believe has stood the test of time. Tarantino threw a whole bunch of interesting characters together with their own convictions and ambitions and let them behave as naturally as possible during a variety of engrossing scenes. The whole experience felt so fresh, yet so familiar. I recently felt this unique experience when reading the 12-issue comic series Danger Street, and I couldn't help myself but to make the comparison against Pulp Fiction. It's not that it shares any plot lines with it, but it has this unique flow which feels like the events are unfolding organically, and a variety of characters that immediately felt so iconic, but with the added twist of superpowered characters. Welcome back, my fellow comic book friends, to Comic Casper. This is another spoiler-free review. This time it's Danger Street, the comic issue, so let's kick it. Alright, Danger Street is a comic series composed of 12 issues, like I said before, published by DC Comics, the Black Label line, 40 pages per issue with your typical ad shenanigans thrown in here and there, with a price of $4.99 per issue. The series is written by Tom King, who's got quite the back catalog of work, such as Batman, Batman and Catwoman, Batman One Bad Day, Gotham City Year One, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, Strange Adventures, and he even did some work with Marvel on The Vision. As for the artist, we have Jorge Fornes, who has done a bit of work with Tom King in the past, most notably on Batman and Rorschach, but he also worked on the likes of Daredevil and the odd Marvel book here and there. Here's the premise for the story. Joining the Justice League is a goal for any superhero, but what happens when a quest for a membership takes a sinister turn? Join Starman, Metamorpho, and Warlord as they look to prove themselves worthy by summoning and defeating Darkseid in battle. Soon they'll learn that calling upon a new god never ends well, and their world is headed for a crisis as a result. The journey to save the day will be a treacherous one, filled with princesses, knights, and all kinds of monsters. Now, just on the last part of the premise where it says, the treacherous tale filled with princesses, knights, and all that, the narrator has this quirky habit to describe the whole story as if it were some medieval tale, assigning various roles to all of the characters. It's a pretty fun addition, works well, and makes it easier to comprehend as to who we should root for, as it can get a little bit much with the assortment of characters at the beginning. There are a lot of compelling characters in this title, which come together from all corners of DC Comics, and to be honest, I didn't know 99% of these, but I still had a good time. Mind you, I think people will benefit from having a deeper understanding of the roster at hand. There's Travis Morgan, who was a former Air Force pilot who became the Warlord after crash landing in the strange land of Skartaris. He was the father of the sorceress Jennifer. Mikhail Thomas was the alien Starman. He came to Earth to conquer it, but became a pacifist instead. He became an ally of the other Starman in Opal City, Jack Knight, and later joined the Justice League. Lady Cop, also known as Liza Warner, who while in college was the only survivor of the Killer in Boots, who killed all her roommates. Jack Ryder, a reporter for Wham TV who was given the power to transform into the Creeper by Dr. Yates. In this form, he fought crime with his advanced ability and strength, along with intimidating his enemies by acting bizarre, mostly with his laughter. Abdul Smith was a member of the Green Team, a group of super rich kids, which doesn't mean much to you on paper unless you read it. Crunch is a member of the Dingbats of Danger Street who later joined the New Challengers of the Unknown. Oh, and also he really likes grapes. These are just to name a few, but you can already gather they form quite the eclectic bunch. Danger Street is an ambitious tale. King and Fornes put the limelight on the obscure, while also discussing topics that are poignant to today's conversation. Fornes' art highlights the mundane nature of the otherwise sprawling epic that is unfolding. Social commentary, and realism ground this otherwise fantastical book and serve to promise a story of nuance rather than spectacle. If you're looking for something that feels nostalgic and that will command your attention, give Danger Street a shot. The creative team is up to something that feels wholly original yet emblematic of a different time in comics. As a whole, the series is a puzzle box, and that may be a bit too much for people. There is a lot that is jam-packed into each issue, and it does feel that you're getting your money's worth with the amount of unique storytelling that there is to absorb. At its core, this massively ambitious comic still does have a great human core. It is an imaginative and thought-provoking comic with a conclusion that felt satisfactory in wrapping up all of these characters' stories. So come on down to Danger Street, just be warned, it's nothing like Sesame Street.